I'm witnessing an entitled, arrogant, bitter, twisted little man.
Pretty face car on 10, body right, got looking.
Is disrespectful to the child, to like the sanctity of what goes on for any humans who are actually in that situation.
You think you know Meghan Markle? But what I'm about to reveal will change everything. A single video, just a few seconds long, ripped open years of whispered rumors and dragged a royal mystery into the brutal light of public judgment. It showed Meghan Markle, dressed in a black hospital gown, twerking next to Prince Harry in a maternity ward.
You are witnessing a broken heart that is allowed to bleed openly. That is what we are witnessing.
That's not what I'm witnessing.
That is what you are witnessing.
I'm witnessing an entitled, arrogant, bitter, twisted little man.
It was loud. It was bizarre. And it left the internet stunned. Was this real? Was it satire? But most disturbingly, was she ever really pregnant? The footage didn't just trigger gossip. It detonated a scandal that has shaken the public's faith in the House of Windsor like never before.
Who's had his claws dug into by a manipulative LA lady, and the pair of them have gone on a mission, a wrecking ball mission, to enrich themselves by abusing the very institution which bestowed the titles to them, which they used to make money.
And now, it's not just social media that's reacting. It's the entire institution of the monarchy that may be standing on the edge of a cliff, questioning everything it thought it had under control.
She's in a PR firm meeting. Someone said, "We need to humanize you. Find some fun moments, post them, and everyone will like you."
For years, Meghan's pregnancies with Archie and Lilibet have been surrounded by quiet suspicion. Whispers about moon bumps and surrogates have floated through fringe forums and late-night YouTube channels, always dismissed by mainstream media as absurd conspiracy theories. But this video, the angles, the movement, the music, made those whispers impossible to ignore.
Can't manufacture that stuff, right? It feels fake. I don't understand why they would think something like that would work.
Suddenly, critics like Piers Morgan and Jeremy Kyle weren't just mocking Meghan's actions, they were openly questioning her truth.
She needs us to love her, so she will do whatever it takes, and she doesn't know how to make us love her.
The silence from Meghan and Harry only amplified the noise. And this time, the doubts weren't just about character, they were about lineage, legacy, and whether the rules of royal succession had quietly been shattered. That's why this isn't just scandalous, it's dangerous. It digs at the very core of royal credibility and whether an entire generation of royals may be walking on a foundation built on fiction.
Diana somewhere in heaven throwing her iPhone saying, "My marriage may have been a mess, but at least I didn't twerk."
The monarchy has always clung to tradition, especially regarding who is born of the body. In the UK, royal children must be delivered naturally by their mothers to be eligible for succession. If Meghan had used a surrogate without public disclosure, it wouldn't just be a scandal, it would be a constitutional crisis.
She didn't approach royal customs with curiosity or care. She dismissed them, forgetting that the tradition is the responsibility.
And now, after this video, people aren't just speculating online, they're calling lawyers, they're quoting bylaws, they're demanding investigations into the very foundation of Archie and Lilibet's royal legitimacy.
You've hijacked this name from Queen Elizabeth. The least you can do is respect this woman, respect her institution, respect her name.
What once was gossip is now being framed as betrayal. It raises fundamental questions. Who gets to inherit power? And who decides what truth really looks like in the age of curated media? These are no longer rhetorical concerns. They are constitutional challenges wrapped in the glitz and glamour of celebrity.
That belly looks abnormal. That it looks very strange. It looks like there's like a bag or like some sort of something shoved up under a dress.
The footage went viral in minutes, frame by frame. It was dissected. Viewers noted the odd positioning of the bump, low, stiff, immobile. Even when Meghan danced or squatted, women who'd experienced full-term pregnancies called it out. That's not how a real bump behaves. Nurses, midwives, and even medical TikTokers weighed in, pointing out anatomical inaccuracies.
Not look like a pregnant belly. It looks all bumpy. It's very strange. It looks like what you'd get if you put like a pillowcase under your dress.
It wasn't just about the bump. The setting felt off too. The hospital room lighting seemed staged. The equipment oddly placed. Even the IV line didn't match standard maternity procedures. It looked like a set from a low-budget medical drama, not a real birthing suite. And the questions just kept multiplying.
They'll give you like remote monitors on your belly. All the monitors they stick on you are connected to the thing that's right next to your hospital bed. And she wasn't wired up at all.
As the frames were replayed and enhanced, online sleuths noticed shadows that didn't align, bedding that looked too clean, and medical monitors that weren't even turned on. Then came the lyrics. Meghan, swaying dramatically, moved to a track about being a baby mama and collecting child support. For someone who once demanded dignity as a working royal, the video felt jarringly performative.
She wanted the crown, but didn't want to carry the weight. So now she's shaking what's left of her credibility, and honey, it's not bouncing back.
Piers Morgan went scorched earth, calling the moment a disgrace to royal legacy. Jeremy Kyle likened the video to a lap dance in a maternity ward and practically gagged on air. Even journalists who had previously defended Meghan began to pull back, because this wasn't just a lapse in taste, it was a full-blown PR disaster with ripple effects far beyond social media memes.
Until Harry and Meghan are stripped of their royal titles, they will continue to drag it into influencer hell with hashtags and humble brag.
It called into question not just Meghan's judgment, but the couple's entire media strategy and whether their obsession with narrative control had finally imploded. Every frame of the video felt like a contradiction to everything the couple had claimed to stand for. Kenzie Schofield, sitting across from Kyle, said what many were thinking. "This isn't labor, this is a music video." She questioned Meghan's intentions, calling out the curated lighting, the bump shape, even the camera angles.
If she had any respect for the institution she married into, she'd stop using it like a content farm.
As more professionals weighed in, inconsistencies piled up. One nurse declared, "That's not a delivery room, that's a prop set." Others echoed her, pointing to the staged vibe of the entire scene. Still others highlighted that Meghan's bump looked too smooth, too perfect. One mother commented, "That belly came from Amazon." And just like that, the theories reignited. Old footage resurfaced of Meghan bending and her stomach folding unnaturally. Side-by-side comparisons started flooding feeds. Meghan in 2019 versus Meghan in this video. Two radically different bumps, two very different performances. The internet doesn't forget, and now it was connecting dots that had long been dismissed.
Meghan wasn't twerking, she was shaking loose what little class she had left.
This wasn't just commentary, it was a digital inquisition led by millions of skeptical viewers. The implications hit fast. If Meghan did fake her pregnancy, what does that mean for the royal bloodline? Australia's Alexandra Marshall didn't mince words. She called the video a disaster for monarchists, saying, "This is the ammunition Republicans need." She warned that anti-monarchists would use the footage as proof that the institution is a circus act. But while the video offended traditionalists, what came next alarmed constitutional scholars. Norman Fenton, a mathematics professor and courtroom expert, reviewed the footage and said it plainly, "This bump doesn't move like a real pregnancy." And while he didn't delve into biology, his voice carried the weight of logic. The conclusion? If this pregnancy wasn't real, then the royal family has a legal and moral crisis on its hands. This could change everything about how the line of succession is validated going forward. And beyond the monarchy, it could set a precedent for how celebrity-driven deception is treated by institutions that rely on public trust. Despite the growing wave of public concern, the royal establishment remained silent. Mainstream news continued posting fluff pieces about Meghan's birthday wishes to Lilibet, ignoring the scandal boiling online. That silence only made it worse. Journalists whispered behind closed doors. Anonymous sources hinted at internal investigations. Royal biographers rushed to update drafts. Buckingham Palace refused to comment, but insiders leaked that King Charles was furious. William, already carrying the future of the monarchy on his back, was reportedly disgusted. Privately, some staffers called the video a slap in the face to Queen Elizabeth's legacy. And the longer the palace remained quiet, the more legitimacy they seemed to lose with the public. The vacuum of accountability was louder than any statement could have been. Then came the bombshell rumor. Prince Harry might be considering dropping his royal surname in favor of Spencer, his mother's maiden name. Some saw it as a branding move, others saw it as damage control. But to royal watchers, it was something deeper. Was Harry preparing to sever his family ties? Or worse, to distance himself from a lie he could no longer support? That one detail cracked the illusion of unity the Sussexes tried to maintain. And the fallout has only just begun, because a name isn't just a name in the world of royalty, it's a statement of allegiance, of legacy, and sometimes of rebellion. It begs the question, is Harry repositioning himself not just as a royal, but as a truth-teller, stepping away from what he once helped protect? Online petitions surged. One demanded the palace remove Archie and Lilibet from the line of succession until their births could be independently verified. Another called for suspension of their titles. Legal experts chimed in, saying the palace may be forced to disclose medical records or issue a formal statement if public pressure continues. The stakes aren't just personal anymore. They're historical, they're political, they're existential for the monarchy. And once again, the public finds itself asking whether modern royalty can survive the internet age. where secrets unravel with the click of a button. Trust, once broken, doesn't get stitched up with silence. It needs truth, accountability, and courage. The most unsettling part? Meghan's silence. No tweet, no quote, no video explanation, nothing. And in that void, the narrative is writing itself. Some speculate she expected backlash and is leaning into it. Others believe she regrets the post and is hoping it will fade. But as the views keep climbing and the questions keep growing, one truth remains. This story isn't going away. And for many, it's no longer about Meghan, it's about the system that let this happen. The monarchy, the media, the myths we buy into. Because when royalty turns into reality TV, the question isn't just who we believe, it's what we still believe in at all. And right now, more people than ever are starting to question whether that belief was ever real to begin with, or if it was all part of a carefully managed illusion that's finally beginning to crack.